Hey everyone, welcome to the Fin Factor post-game live edition. This is the post-game for round 3, game 3, the Western Conference Finals. The San Jose Sharks sorry, I'm done with that. The San Jose Sharks have defeated the St. Louis Blues by a score of 5-4 in overtime.
I don't know if you know this, but it was an odd game tonight.
You know, I'll say this. It was boring, the first period. It was extremely boring. Everything picked up in the second and third period and overtime. And I almost don't like saying that because, again, Erik Karlsson picked up the goal. Joe Thornton picked up a goal.
Of the game.
Well, no. In the first period.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Karlsson picked up a goal. Thornton picked up a goal. It doesn't feel like it should have been a boring first period, but it kind of was. Not a whole lot going on. They were kind of just stuck going back and forth. Not a whole lot of really high danger chances or kind of wow moments. Yeah, it was just kind of going through the motions, so it wasn't really a big deal. But I mean, you know, they potted 2 goals, so a good effort, I guess you can say, by the Sharks to get out and get the lead.
It was 2-0 at the end of the first. They didn't give up that goal at the end of the period like they did the other night.
Right.
So that's always good.
And the second period came along, and it was, a lot more run and gun. It was much more exciting. A lot more energy, a lot more effort put into it by both teams.
I think it got a little away from the Sharks in the second period. I think the Blues, what was great was the Blues, they were up 2-0. The Blues made it 2-1, and then the Sharks made it 3-1 10 seconds later.
Yeah.
So that was good on the Sharks to bounce back, but then they let the Blues right back in, and it was 4-3.
Yeah.
So the second period was a bad period. But great to see him tied up in the last minute and a half.
To see him, yeah. Great to see him tied. It was 101 left, I think, is what it was. And just a good effort all around. Puck goes to the net, and Couture is there just, poking and prodding, and it goes in.
This is why little kids at home, you don't ice the puck when you're only up by a goal in the last minute, because the Blues did it twice, I believe.
Yeah.
Sharks won the face-off, kept it in the zone, and scored the tying goal.
Yeah.
As opposed to just dumping the puck and playing it safe, right?
Right.
Killing the clock. At that point, the clock is your enemy. So the Blues had a chance to put this away, and they did not. They missed the empty net by inches. I think it hit the post.
Hit the post, I think, yeah.
So they could have gone either way, and then we get into overtime. Did something happen in overtime?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, so obviously I think most of you guys have watched the game already. So, we all see, what happens. Basically, the puck comes down, and there was a trip, it looked like, Super Key Group Joe was saying on Timo, and that's kind of why he was on the ground. I'm not asking for any sort of...
It was a soft trip.
It was soft, yeah. So, Timo's on the ground, puck kind of flips up a little bit, he gloves it. I think he was trying to just bat it to an area and hope that either, because you see him kind of swing a stick at it too, thinking maybe he gets the stick on it, or maybe a Blues player touches it so that it's playable again. That is not the case. Nyquist is the next player to touch it, so right away that should have been called as a hand pass. Nyquist then passes it off to a beautiful short pass, just, deceptive almost, because when you're that close and you have the puck, the first thing on your brain is shoot.
To his fellow countrymen.
Oh, the Swiss-born.
The Swiss connection right there.
Swedish, yeah.
Or Swedish connection. Wow. You said Swiss.
I got it. I know. I did it on purpose. You're welcome. So, it gets over to Karlsson. Karlsson buries it. And right away, Binnington, I think, was pretty much the only Blue right away that was like, hey, wait a minute. That was a hand pass, right? And, he was absolutely correct. It was a hand pass. We've looked at it about 15 different times from every angle that they've allowed us to see it on the broadcast, and that's a hand pass. It should have been.
I tried slowing it down, and it looks like so I was saying 2 things. One, it almost looks like Meyer hits it with his stick, but you can't see any direct change in the puck's direct trajectory. And then it looks like it hits. Somebody saying it was Bomeister or whoever was the defenseman. Looks like it hit his shin, but you can't get a definitive look. But again, the overall, it's like we can't even see it if it's changing direction. In the slow down motion, so it looks to us like a hand pass, but who doesn't get the benefit of being able to look at it?
Yeah, regardless of what may or may not have happened or been the case, the refs didn't see it, so they didn't call it dead. They didn't blow it dead right there. There was no indication on the ice that there was a hand pass. If there was, the play would have been stopped before the puck even went in the net. Unfortunately for the St. Louis Blues and their fan base, that's not a reviewable call.
Right.
So, and we've been bitten by something like this in the past too, where it's hey, that was wrong. It's like, yeah, we know it's wrong, but we can't by the rules review that. So I don't know. For me, this one, it doesn't. I'll take the win. Don't get me wrong. I'll take the win, but this one for me just doesn't feel right. I mean, I know Aaron's like, whatever, I'll take it.
Yeah, and I'll take the win too. If he had slapped it in with his hand, obviously they're going to review it and say, nope, no goal, because that's what caused the goal. So I don't really... hold on, you. Sorry. I'm going to interrupt you real quick. Nathaniel Arias, thank you very much for the $1.99 in the super chat. Couture scores 47% of his goals in the third period.
Clutcher.
And then
spelled clutcher wrong.
Right after that, Misfit, $10 in the super chat. Thank you very much.
Thank
you. Not reviewable.
Yeah, that's the truth of it. Yeah. I mean, okay, but you've said this before too. Okay, put yourself in their shoes, right? If this happened to the Sharks, if this happened to the Sharks, we'd be in an uproar right now. Oh my goodness, this needs to be reviewable. And you know what? A lot of this is going to change. I think over the summer, I think we're going to see if the puck goes in the net, it's reviewable. Period. Because things like this happen. We've seen it happen far too many times. For the one that was against the Sharks, that was when the Boston Bruins were playing against the Sharks earlier this season.
High touch. It was a high touch down with only that was the game that Thornton had a hat trick.
Yeah,
it was the tangle. It was the game that Thornton had a hat trick, and they were hoping for his fourth goal on an empty netter because they had the empty net.
Right.
And it was a high touch down, and because he didn't high touch it and go straight into the goal. He high touched it and then put it in. You can't review it. So kind of a similar situation where it was a hand pass to, it was Meyer to Nyquist to Carlson, because it was a pass and he didn't hand pass it into the goal. It's not reviewable. If he hand passes that towards the goal and it goes in, then they can review it and say no goal. But because that's not one of the reviewable things.
And in both cases, it was the non-call by the referee that screws that whole thing up for. Whichever team kind of got hosed on that one, right? So if the referee had seen it or called it, that high touch wouldn't have counted, right?
Yeah.
If he touches in off a high touch and it goes in the net, okay, we can review that. But since he hit it again and they didn't see the high touch or didn't call the high touch, then again, not the case there. So for tonight's game, again, same thing. It's a hand pass. Yes, they didn't see it. It's not reviewable. There's nothing they can do about it. Now, I mean, personally, I know Aaron doesn't really care. Personally, like I feel for the St. Louis Blues fan base right about now. I know, I do. Because again, if I put myself in their shoes, this is a blown call and it cost them the game.
I don't, because I've been in their shoes.
Lovely. There's a difference. There is a difference. That doesn't make it right. There's a difference though. Okay, when we look at the Vegas series and how all the Vegas fans are crying about how there was 4 goals that were handed to the Sharks. Not a single goal was handed to the Sharks. The opportunity was handed to the Sharks. Whether or not you think that was the right or wrong call, fine. The opportunity was handed to the Sharks. They still had to go out there and score those 4 goals to give themselves the lead, and then have to score that 5th goal to give themselves the win. In this case, it's a blown call that is directly related to the puck going into the net. That's the thing I don't like about it. That's why I have this weird feeling about the win tonight. I'm like, it's great. Don't get me wrong. We're up 2-1, and I'll take it. But for me, it just doesn't feel right.
Real quick, Aaron, before you start talking, because I like interrupting you more.
I know.
Twisted Wrister Hockey, thank you very much for the $13 in super chat. I'm gonna do some math for you guys.
Wait a minute.
EK65s, 2 goals, $6.50 times 2.
Yeah, got it.
All right, keep playing, Baby Shark. Opposing teams love the show, lads.
Thanks, it was hilarious. The score was 2-0, and they start playing Baby Shark right after that. Before they even announced that Joe Thornton scored the goal, they start playing Baby Shark. It's like,
wait, 2-0?
You mean 2-1?
No, it was 2-0.
Right.
When Joe Thornton scored the second goal of the game, his first.
Okay. To make it 2-0.
Yes, and they didn't even get to announcing Joe Thornton scores the goal, and everyone's like, yeah, whatever. They didn't get to that point yet, and they're playing Baby Shark. And I'm going, usually you play that after you score a goal and you guys are ahead or something, right?
Or like you get a big hit or something. Who knows?
Yeah, but then they played it after Joe Thornton scored, like directly after he scored the goal.
They'll have to figure that one out. Glass Hour Grown. $99 or $99? No, 99 cents in the super chat. Hey, still very much appreciated. Thank you very much. And a thumbs up also to go along with that. If you got any other things you want me to ask, I will do so. And I got 2 more here.
Okay.
Darren Robinson, I felt bad. $5 in the super chat. Thank you very much. I felt bad about this one at first, but then I remembered how hard Thornton worked for it.
Yeah.
So.
No. Look, okay. Here's what I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna say that the Blues deserved to win this game and they got hosed. They didn't deserve to win the game. They deserved to keep playing after that whistle.
Yeah,
that's all they deserve.
No, nobody plays after the whistle, Paul.
Right?
You play
the game deserved to continue after that goal was called, because it should not have been called, and both teams should still be playing right now. That's all I'm saying.
I can't say that this. Okay, the Sharks won the game, right? But you don't know if the Sharks would have won anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was complaining about the puck over the glass that wasn't called. We don't know if that would have been a power play goal. We don't know if that would have been a shorthanded goal against.
Power play has been terrible, so.
But my problem with this one, though, is that it directly
because it was overtime.
The end of the game, because it wasn't a goal that ended the game.
If it wasn't overtime, it wouldn't be as big of a deal.
Not
if it was 1-0 in 5 minutes into the game, and the final score is 6-3.
Sure.
Okay, it didn't really matter that much, right? But it's because of that. Durin Vahaya, I'm gonna assume that's how you pronounce that name, but I'm gonna get it wrong. But thank you very much, regardless, for the $2 in the super chat. First time watching live. Thanks for always being real.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. We tell
much appreciated.
Yeah, I mean, look, we're Sharks fans, but we're also, again, we've used the term even keel, and we are hockey fans too. And I mean, though I don't have every stat like he does because he plays fantasy hockey, so he's kind of knows every single stat about everything.
And the rest of the NHL more.
Yeah. See, I don't know. I think we do try to keep it real, if you will, right? We try to make sure that we're not just straight fanboying. And I get we're biased, obviously, because we're a Shark show. We don't know anything, or we don't know enough about the Blues. He knows a little bit about the guys that you would want in a fantasy team, but beyond that, I don't think we really know a whole heck of a lot about other teams and their makeups and everything else.
I have Tarasenko signed for multiple years.
There you go. So he knows a little bit about Tarasenko. But no, you're absolutely right. Like we do try to kind of tell it like it is. For better or worse. And again, for a game like tonight, yes, I'm absolutely happy the Sharks are up 2-1. But I'm also realistic in the fact that if this was against the Sharks instead, I'd be pretty upset right about now, right? So I mean, I feel for the fan base. But now, I will say one thing, and I know Joel wants to get to this ringing bell behind me here in a second here, but
I do.
The 2-1 series lead, again, let's go back to what I've been saying. Let's wait till Game 4, because if the St. Louis Blues, I'm expecting the St. Louis Blues to pick up at least one of them at home, right? So in my mind, we're even in the series right now. Yes, the Sharks are up 2-1. I'm expecting the Blues to take care of at least one game at home.
We stole a game away.
We stole a game. And it's exactly what St. Louis did. They came in, they stole a game.
They stole a game, we evened it out.
Yep. And that's how I feel. I feel like we're even, even though it's only 2-1. Mm-hmm. So go ahead and say what you got to say, and I'm going to see who's calling me.
All right, well, John Doe, thank you very much in the super chat for the $1.99 playoff mode. Sucks!
John's the one that won the socks the other night.
The beautiful lighting Instagram filter.
One thing I was going to say is people are going to complain about the refs, but if you look at the stats, the Sharks had one power play, and St. Louis had one power play. So when both teams are hating on the refs are doing something right, or at least being consistent.
Wrong enough for both teams.
Right. They missed the blatant. To me, this is bad. When the puck goes over the glass and you have 4 sets of eyes watching that, because the linesmen are able to help with that call, and they all miss it, that's a bit ridiculous. And that is going to be reviewable, I bet.
That was a question.
Yeah. That was it?
In the super chat.
Yeah. If you just let me do my job.
Sorry.
All right, I'm gonna get to that. Let's go to that one real quick, and then we'll come back for John Bianchi's comment here. Brace San Jose, $4.99 in the super chat. Can we talk about the blown delay game call? Love the show, guys. And that's one, that's not a subjective call. So in the third period, when you put your whistles away and you're like, ew, that was a hook, but I'm not going to call it because it's tied in the third period with 10 seconons to go.
To me, this is a bad non-call because
it's like not calling an icing or something.
It was Perron.
You see it.
It was Perron who went on to score 2 goals in the game. He blatantly put it over the or put it into the netting, and there was nobody around him really. It wasn't like a deflection or close call.
There was a shark stick that was close, but it wasn't close enough to go, oh, it deflected.
Right.
Yeah.
It was a he heard Haley coming moment, I think.
Yeah, and at that point you listen for the stick sound hitting the puck like a deflection, right? And you don't hear that. There was nothing. So to me that was a bad non-call, and I was a little angry about that because the Sharks. Not to say they got away with any of those, but that was nobody gets away with those.
It's an opportunity, right? It's an opportunity for the Sharks to put a goal in the net. You got a man advantage, and anytime that something doesn't happen the way that we see it, 15 times DVR back and forth, slow motion, back forth, right? I mean, anytime we see something like that, and we go, hey, it should have been called. Yeah, at the same time, I heard Baker on the way over here. Look, I don't envy the job of the referees in the NHL. These guys are making changes every 45 seconds or 30 seconds or whatever it is, and they've got to keep track of everybody on the ice, and they never get to take a shift. They're always out there doing their thing. Now, again, this is what they get paid to do. This is what they're supposed to do, and they're supposed to have good eyes for it, and sometimes they do, and most times they don't. I don't envy their job. Having said that, yeah, they are the best of the best because they're in the playoffs right now. We've seen guys make bad calls and they get ousted from being able to officiate future rounds. So I don't want their job. I don't think that what they have to do is easy and they just suck at it or whatever. It's got to be really tough. At the same time, dude, open your eyes.
I think this is going to be added to the list of things that are going to get reviewed. Maybe even starting next season, or maybe they do like a transition where they kind of test it out in the AHL first. Mm-hmm. But something that is either reviewable by the league or just challengeable by the coaches, by the coaching staff.
From what I understand, this is actually the second one this series that was a direct over glass that they just missed. I'm not going to say that they didn't want to call. It's just that they missed. Because that's what happens. Yeah. All right, but I do want to get to John Bianchi's comment here, and it's going to change the subject a little bit.
Okay.
But $14.99 in the super chat. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hashtag a win is a win. EK65 finally woke up this game, and this is Jumbo's multi-point game in the playoffs since the series against the Canucks, I believe.
Oh. Multi-goal game.
Multi-goal, and he had 3 points, right? Because you guys said he had assists as well.
He had 2 goals and assists, and it was a +3. This is a huge bounce-back game for Jumbo because he knew after last game that he blew the winning goal.
Yeah.
The
Bortuzzo.
They were talking about it. They were talking about it on the radio.
Yeah.
I think it was Jamie Baker was talking about it. Jumbo knows. He watches and listens after the game and knows, all the post-game stuff they're talking about it, how he got burned. Not that he won't get burned again, but he wanted to make a difference and come back, and he sure did. He got 2 goals and an assist tonight, which is amazing. I mean, former captain might as well be an alternate or the captain again. Mm-hmm. Another leader on the team, and he is showing by example how to bounce back from a bad game. I think this is one of the Sharks' strengths and I keep saying this over and over, is that they bounce back from bad games or bad periods or bad whatever.
Yeah.
And they're even talking about this on the radio. They're interviewing Michael Haley when I was on my way over here after the game, and they said, what was it like in between periods going in the locker room? He's like, you don't have to tell us what you're talking about, but what was the mood kind of? And he goes, Michael Haley said, we don't get high on the highs and low on the lows is what he said. And I laughed and go,
familiar.
Yeah, he must be listening to our show. But pretty much the same thing that we preach, right? They don't get high on the highs or low on the lows, and they stay even keel. And that's how they're able to bounce back from bad games, bad periods, bad shifts, whatever. It's in the past, and you move on and you work hard and you get back to where you are. And the Sharks were able to tie the game and win it.
And one of the things I liked about Jumbo's 2 goals, take a look at where he scored them. Right?
In front of the net.
Right in front of the net.
Yeah.
The 39-year-old with 2 reconstructed knees who is, saying, I kind of blew it last game. I want to get in there and I want to make a big difference. And he goes right to the net. And he's rewarded for it, right? There's a shot. I don't know if it was blocked or if it was saved, but it comes right out to him, just fortuitous bounce, right? Lucky to be good and good to be lucky. He's in the right spot at the right time in case something happens with the puck right there, and it did. Popped right out to his stick, backhands it, perfect. Gets it in, no problem, right?
And speaking of luck, what have we preached about in the playoffs? What do you need? You need depth, health, and luck.
You got it.
And the Sharks are getting it.
All right. Alan K., thank you very much. Great show is his comment, and $9.99 in the super chat for
thanks,
for
Alan.
Alan Kelly.
Alan
Yeah,
K.
okay. I heard K, so I wasn't
see the picture?
Kelly.
You there? Can you see it?
No, not really.
He's so blind.
We got to put like a magnifying glass in front of the screen so he can see.
No, I'm cool. I don't need it. He can say it. All right. It's all good. Thank you, Alan. Appreciate it, buddy.
Mr. Yessie 23, $1.99 in the super chat. Thank you very much. The Braun hit to the head and the Haley slash. Those were more misses, I think.
Yes, they were.
Yeah.
There was a lot of Baker on the way over here. Baker was saying how they missed a lot of calls, a lot of headshots to Couture in this game, to Braun. Haley getting slashed, and Haley also slashed back. So the Blues are kind of, we saw this in game, I guess every game since they've been playing the Blues. They're kind of that scrappy or dirty team trying to get those extra licks in, and borderline penalties or not penalties according to the referees today, right?
Playoffs,
right? So they're the guys that are going to go out and do that little extra dirty, extracurricular stuff that may or may not be called, and it's going to slowly bring down the other guys.
Yeah.
If you can't beat them with skill, you're going to have to chop them down.
What's the word we've used, right? Invest. And I think that's what the Blues are out there doing. I mean, from the drop of the puck in game 1, what'd they do? They went right after Erik Karlsson.
Mm-hmm.
How many hits in the first 5 minutes? Do we remember what that was?
It was like 4 or 5.
4 or 5 hits from the first 5-10 minutes, whatever it was. They went
hits.
after him, right? And hey, you know, that's what I was preaching too about what to do against Colorado.
And I laughed because they were picking on the wrong defenseman because Burns is the one that was scoring. And now look, Karlsson got angry. Karlsson's healthy, and now he's scoring goals.
So there's Angry Joe and there's Angry Eric.
You don't want to piss off Joe, and you don't want to piss off Karlsson.
I'm going to say this
Go
real
ahead.
quick. Okay, so in the first series, I called out the Sharks big time on everything they were doing and was very angry.
Okay.
And they proved me wrong. What was I complaining about before this game? Erik Karlsson isn't worth the money he's getting if he's not going to get us goals and assists. He should be like top scorer, yada, 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 whine. Not knowing anything about hockey. Again, just kind of watching his gameplay. And, you know, I love being wrong. I love being wrong.
You said the last game, Karlsson needs to step up.
Yeah.
And he did.
Yeah.
And I was mad at
Well,
Jumbo.
no. And we said Jumbo needs to step up too,
Right.
didn't you?
Yep. I said Jumbo, LeBanc, that
Yeah.
line.
Yeah.
And we also thought that Sorensen was going to get scratched. We could talk about that.
Right. Yeah.
Sorensen was going to get scratched, and where do you move everybody? And
Yeah.
they put Donskoy. Where was he?
He was still with the fourth liners.
Oh, then they put in
They put Karlsson up.
They moved Karlsson up and put Haley
in. Now, I think I would have shuffled it a little bit differently, but it didn't seem to matter tonight, so cool. And then, you know, of course, DeBoer's always got the line blender going anyway. So if anything wasn't going the way he wanted it to go, he could have shuffled it back up. The funny thing is, you know, everything was going all well and good up until the point where the second period came around and they scored 4 and we only scored 1.
Well, and even then, it was a goal, and they answered right away. I mean, before they even announced the goal for the Blues, it was 3-1 again.
I think it was within 10 seconds.
But then it was rapid fire, you know, goal.
All 3 goals were like 2 minutes and 30 seconds apart, something like that.
Those 3 were. But my point was that they went down 4-3 there, right?
Michael Haley, difference maker.
Yeah.
He was directly related to that first goal. He put a big hit on Edmondson, I think it was, and the puck scored it out to Karlsson, who scored. Yeah, and I can't remember who was in front. Donskoy was screening in front. But Haley being there as well was, I think Edmondson took the hit, then kind of give Donskoy a little shove, and then put his stick out to hold Haley back. And you could see Haley was kind of leaning back like this on one skate because he was holding him back with his stick. But that freed up Donskoy to get in front to set the screen. Screen the goalie, guess what happened? Related,
right?
Directly related.
Exactly.
Right
so I think Haley played a good game. You know, it's I hope he's all right with that wrist. I mean, he took a pretty big
couple
slash
whacks
there. So.
I think.
I hope Dunn's okay too.
Yeah, no,
he left the game.
Yeah, that's
somebody was saying like, oh, it's
that.
teeth, and it's like it might be jaw.
Yeah, you never want to see that. I tweeted that out as well. You know, you seeing a guy have to leave the ice and he's bleeding and everything, and you know, I mean, especially taking a puck to the mouth. Sharks fans, we know what that's all about, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, when I saw that, I was going, oh man, that guy, that's no good, that's no good. And I saw him coming off, and he was bleeding. And the thing that got me too was when he was coming off, he was like holding his mouth like this.
And that's the thing.
He wasn't moving his jaw at all. Yeah.
If it was teeth like Pavelski, it's like they get you a shot.
Yeah, he'd have been back
they
in.
sew you up and then bring you back in.
But
they put a cage around your face.
Yeah, but when he was skating off, you could tell he was like not holding with his hands, but the muscles in his jaw. He was holding his jaw a certain way, and he wasn't deviating from that as he was skating off, right? So, I mean, for Blues Nation, I don't know what you guys call yourselves. For the Blues fans that are out there, I hope your defenseman... Blues. Yeah, for those guys, we hope Dunn's okay. I mean, it sucks. It sucks when you're playing with only 5 defensemen. I mean, we kind of know what that's about because we have Joachim Ryan on the team, and he doesn't play but,
they brought that up on the
boy,
broadcast.
Joachim Ryan.
All right, I want to go back to a question here. Duran asks for $2 here. People think that the Sharks run should have an asterisk. What do you guys think?
It's funny.
That's not him saying. He's just people in general are saying
every round now. Vegas fans hate the Sharks because of the controversial goal.
Yeah.
Or penalty, I guess you could say, not the goal, but the penalty. Colorado's mad because of the offside call, and now St. Louis is mad because of this overtime goal.
But the series isn't even over yet, so
and you know what? Going back to Bennington being upset about that, he was mad. He slammed his stick against the glass.
He and Shen, both of them, and Shen was not very far away from the rest when he threw that stick.
Bennington, welcome to the NHL, buddy. You're a rookie, so this stuff happens.
I think the
It
thing
sucks.
that really sucks about it too is that it's it's playoffs. They're gonna put their whistles away for certain things. I think this was one that it's not that they put their whistle away for it.
They just missed
They
it.
just missed it flat out, and it cost them the game. It really did. Now, is that something that you blame the Sharks for? I saw one guy on Twitter who they're doing hashtag headline Sharks headline, right? and the people are responding, "No, it's a bad idea. You shouldn't ask for a headline right now. It's a bad idea," right? And people are going,
hashtag too soon.
Yeah, the refs hand it to the Sharks, or it's a handy dandy play, right? Something like that, to try to be funny about it.
The Sharks handed it to the Blues.
Something like that. Yeah, exactly, right?
Real quick,
So,
hands down, they should have continued playing overtime.
yeah, right. But no, right. So somebody puts like hashtag cheaters. That was the Sharks headline was cheaters. And I'm going, well, it's not really cheating. It was just a call that they'd missed. And it's not like Myers there like, like a villain like Gargamel or something like that, where he's like, I'm going to knock the puck down and then it's going to go in. He's not doing that, okay? He's just trying to make a play that involves him batting the puck. Any number of things could happen there. He could have touched it with a stick. It could have hit a different player from the Blues before a Sharks player got it, but he's just trying to get the puck into a more fortuitous area. That's all he's thinking. He's not thinking I'm going to cheat, right? Before you get to that real quick, somebody else says, so I say, they're not really cheating. He goes, well, it's as if I, basically committed adultery, right? But I didn't get caught. So it's okay. And I'm going, well, you shouldn't have said that. And I'm on Twitter. I'm going, oh, you shouldn't have said that. Now your wife knows about it and everything. I was kind of clowning on him, but whatever. Anyway, it was just, I wouldn't call it cheating. It's not really cheating. It's them trying to make a play and the refs didn't catch the unfortunate consequence of trying to make that play.
He didn't look over the ref and go, hey, man, I'm going to hand the pass this. I'll flip you $5 afterwards.
Right.
A $5 that was donated by John Doe just now for $4.99 in the super chat. Don't make the Sharks angry. You wouldn't like them when they're angry.
This is true.
So I love Joe, Jumbo Joe.
Yeah?
You don't like him when he's angry. When you piss him off and you hit him hard or do something stupid.
Yeah.
And an angry Joe comes out. It's a better Joe. I like it when angry Joe's out.
No, it's true.
But, yeah.
All right, Lahana Divers 13, $4.99 in the super chat. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Great game and great show as always. Looking forward to watching both again Friday whilst getting inebriated or hammered.
Good for
Either
you.
way.
Nice.
And then Raider Rich and Christ, $5.
Oh.
They use their hands in the game all the time to catch the puck, so why are they tripping out about this one? And the reason is you're allowed to bat it down to yourself.
Yeah.
If you push it to anyone else, it's in the offensive zone.
Right. So yeah, let me explain that for real quick. Okay, so if Timo bats the puck out of the air
With his hand,
right? If he touches it with his stick, puck's still in play. If a St. Louis Blue touches it with their stick inadvertently or on purpose, if it goes off of their leg, the puck's in play, right? It's when you bat the puck with your hand and your teammate is the first person to touch the puck, then it's a stoppage in play, and that's exactly what happened, right? So it looked almost like, because when I first saw it, I'm going, dude, that's a hand pass, they're going to call this back. And then it hit me, they can't review it, right? But so I was looking and I'm going, while I was trying to make sense of it all before it hit me that they can't review it, was, okay, I think maybe it bounced off of his stick then. And I'm looking and I'm like, no, it didn't bounce off his stick. Well, maybe it bounced off his the Blues' leg. Mm-hmm. I'm looking at it again, no, it didn't bounce off his leg either. And I'm going, why aren't they calling this back? And then, okay, yeah, it's not reviewable, that's why. So, I mean, even if the refs look at the tape and go, yeah, that was totally the wrong, we just missed it. We just flat out missed it. There's absolutely nothing that they can even do about it because it's not a reviewable play. And again, over the summer, I imagine this will be something that's a hot topic. Anytime the puck goes in the net and there's any sort of controversy whatsoever about it, it's reviewable. So I think that's probably what's going to end up happening.
Every summer there seems to be hot topics for the GMs to talk about and try and make not so much large changes, but little subtle changes. This will probably be a bigger change than most, but this is just getting added to the list, and there's going to be a long list. And I don't think it's going to go into play automatically into next season. They're usually a little bit slow on implementing these things. Mm-hmm. So I bet they do like a trial run with the AHL with the review stuff and see if it works. And I mean, me personally, I think we talked about this before the show went on, reviewing every goal to make sure that everything was okay. Yeah. Then it's like the NFL, where they're reviewing every touchdown to make sure it's okay. It's okay, but you see how bad the NFL is at the review process. I think the NHL has it right in that they don't have everything reviewable. Like basketball practically has everything reviewable now by video. It just slows the game down and really changes momentum, and it makes for a worse product even if you're trying to get the call right. Yeah. We see this in soccer now with VAR. you see a goal get called back, and in soccer, goals are rare.
Yeah.
Now, the NHL has a problem with scoring. Do you want to take goals away from these review processes? No. Do you think Colorado wants that review to go away for that offside call? Yes.
Yeah.
Do you think do they think it's too much? Probably. So when the NHL has a scoring problem and now you're implementing rules or reviews to take back goals, you're only hurting your product.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's good to add these reviews to it. Not to say if the Sharks are on the other end, they're going to get burned for it. Sure, but I think it goes up and down and it evens out to me.
All right, I got a couple things to say,
Sure.
and one is that John. Well, actually, you know what? I'm going to go real quick first to David Wake, $6.99 Canadian. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, and if you get caught, you didn't try hard enough.
It's good.
So, just pretty relevant, obviously.
Okay, sure.
But again, like you said, I don't think Meyer's intent was to cheat.
No.
It was simply to
Get the puck into an area where it's
just
more...
he's just trying to get the puck down and maybe to a stick. And
Look,
who
watch
knows.
it in not a slow-mo.
Yeah.
Watch it in real time.
Yeah.
He's batted the puck down and he swings at it, tries to pass it over, and he misses. So it's not like he was batting it on purpose and trying to do it on purpose. He was trying to bat it down and swing, and he just missed. And that's probably what the ref saw was the swinging of the stick and thought that he just passed it. I mean, you have to look, where's the ref's angle? Where's his vision, right? Because the ref is kind of in that corner where his back was to him, right? Timo Meier's back was to him as he's kind of sitting on the ice and swatting that puck and then hitting it with the stick. He probably got obstructed. He sees the puck move as if it came off of his stick and not hit with his hand, so he just probably assumed, okay, I didn't see anything wrong because he's watching a million other things on the ice.
Yeah.
So the refs, you can't really blame the refs because at this point, it's the one ref that's in the corner. The other ref is at the half line. Then the two linesmen, one's at the blue line and the other one is where? The half line?
Although we've seen the ref that's at center ice make a call that he probably shouldn't have before too. So I mean,
so you're telling me that refs aren't perfect?
No,
I'll
that's
take it.
and that's
Right.
just, that's exactly what the whole point of this is, right? The refs aren't perfect, and does it suck for if you're a Blues fan? Does it suck tonight? Yeah, it really does. It really does suck.
I think they come out fast.
Oh yeah,
in the
sure.
next game,
Hey, but
honestly.
again, look. If you thought that the St. Louis Blues were going to get swept at home, I'm sorry, but I just don't believe that. I think the St. Louis Blues are a good enough team. I mean, let's look at some of the stats tonight. Okay, shots on goal were exactly the same. Now, you take away that one goal, they have one less shot on, or Sharks have one less shot on goal, yes. But Binnington and Jones essentially played exactly the same game.
And Binnington has now let in more goals than Martin Jones.
By one, yes.
Just
Yeah,
for
no,
all the
he
people
has,
that are hating
by
on
one.
Jones, because
Yeah.
there are still Jones haters out there.
Sure.
From my understanding, too, and somebody can correct me on this, but the Blues are actually worse at home. They're actually a better road team in the playoffs so far.
Cool. You know what? I don't think that has any weight or bearing whatsoever from one series to another. I think if they're just bad at home for that stretch or whatever, then they're just bad at home for that stretch. I don't think you could say, oh, you know what? They're horrible at home. We're going to win those two games. We're going to win games 3 and 4 just because. Now, we may win game 4. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying we're not going to. I'm just saying if you're telling me that they're incapable of winning at home, that there's no way they're going to win at home, Sharks are obviously going to take those 2 games. I'm sorry, that holds about as much weight as taking a Magic 8 ball and shaking it up and taking a look.
Results
like that, yeah, no,
unclear.
I don't like trying to call the game before it happens. Everyone's got predictions of what's going to happen, and they're so adamant about, oh yeah, no, Sharks going to win game 4, and it's going to be 6-2. You know,
So
it's
far-
like, yeah, we can make things up and it's fun. Don't get me wrong, but when you're like confident and adamant about what your decision on that one would be, like, I'm sorry, I can't take that seriously.
I mean,
so.
you look at what you guys had posted the other day
Yeah.
in social on us, where was somebody you were reposting something. It was like Sharks are now 9-1 in odd numbered games,
yeah.
and they're like 1-6 and even like it's crazy. Like
And
you
it
can
only
put,
adds to it tonight because tonight was first of all
Odd.
game 1, then we lost game 2, then we won game 3. So it
Right.
only adds to that. Does that mean that we're gonna go to 7 and win every odd game again?
No, exactly. And all it does is after the fact, it's at the whole like 2020, right? It's
Yeah.
you can put together things after the fact. Okay, but speaking of after the fact,
Yeah.
John Doe said like 20 minutes ago, and I'm
Okay.
finally getting back to it for $1.99 super chat. Thank you very much, because you guys brought up Bennington. Does this OT goal rattle Bennington?
Maybe.
Are you
Maybe.
saying Bennington?
I'm probably saying it wrong.
Bennington.
Bennington.
I-
Spelled it
Bennington.
Bennington, though.
Oh, okay,
He
yeah, yeah.
spelled it wrong, but it's
Bennington. Yeah.
Bennington.
Anyway, go ahead. Sorry, does it rattle him?
I think a little bit. I think he seems to be like kind of an emotional guy.
I thought he was stonewall. He doesn't look like anything was getting to him.
So
even
you
that
saw how angry he was at the end where he slammed his stick.
This game, yes. The prior two games didn't seem like he was rattled at all.
You hear two stories about Binnington, right? Or maybe you see two stories. One, you hear from the Blues and from their fan base, and of course from the Blues organization, he's the calmest guy that you'll ever meet. He never gets rattled, and of course, you're going to hear that from the Blues organization. From the fans, they're probably saying the same thing because, again, they get pumped the Blues media stuff too, right? And yeah, maybe he is one of those guys that has icy veins. He just doesn't get rattled, and that's all well and good. It doesn't really matter if you're getting rattled or not if you're letting in 4 goals, right? I mean, Jones did the same thing tonight. So, does he get rattled for the next game? I don't think so until things start falling apart. We saw at the end of this game him showing that emotion. He was slamming his stick and getting upset. I mean, hey, I'd be slamming my stick and getting upset too. That doesn't mean that I'm any less rattled than anybody else. But I guess what I'm saying is I wouldn't expect that. Just like, again, stats and, we're going to win game 4 or, because we win even games or whatever the case is. I don't think any of that has anything to do with anything. Okay, so when he comes out to play game 4, I think he's going to be just his normal self, calm, cool, collected. He's not going to go, oh, man, I can't believe I lost game 3 because of that. He's not going to be, thinking about that stuff when he's taking the crease for game 4. He's going to be out there to play as himself, to be himself. In his zone. He's going to be confident, ready to go, and ready to play. He's going to have confidence in his teammates around him, all that. When you score a couple goals on him, that's when I think you might see him getting a little bit rattled and start to play maybe a little bit off of his game because, again, he's young, and now the pressure's on. They're down in the series, right? Now he's got to, come up with the big save here and there, and if he's not, is he starting to lose some confidence? Again, this is where you start getting in between the ears, right? And this is where I was saying was, you want to get this kid off of his game because mechanically and all the physical attributes, he's all there. He's an NHL goaltender. But between the ears is where you can still mess with this guy. And so if you can get on him early, put a goal in early, I think the loss in confidence and the being rattled, that stuff, might resurface, right? Because we saw at the end of the game tonight. And I think that it will continue if you can get a couple goals and get under his skin. He's not going to be rattled out of the gate, though. So.
Right. So Bad Weather Gaming is actually a Blues fan who was. I asked because I'm right here. He said he's very even keel, ice in the veins, like you were talking about. He basically doesn't like getting scored on in those kinds of situations. And I'm like, I don't think anybody does.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And to my comment, just saying like, well, basically. Pretty sure that this game, while being a very controversial ending, doesn't like it at all. You could see obviously he almost broke his stick on the glass.
Yeah.
I think he's already moved past it. He's getting ready for game 4 already.
Yeah.
And Bad Weather Gaming says same. We'll all know once it starts.
Right? I was listening to NHL Network after game 2 when the Blues won, and there's actually Binnington's record after a loss is pretty impressive. He bounces back almost every single time. He's only lost like 1 or 2 games back to back, which is very impressive. So. He doesn't really lose a lot of back-to-back games. I think, I said earlier, he is going to get rattled, and I take it back. I don't think he's going to get rattled. Okay. I think he's going to be pretty solid, and he's not that young. He's 25. He's not like he's 21, 22. Mm-hmm. He's 25 years old, and he's been around the AHL for a little while. So he's a professional athlete and has been around a little bit. He's not going to get that rattled, and he's seen a lot of stuff. So I think both the Blues and Binnington as a whole, the Blues as a whole, are going to come back and bounce back and play pretty hard in Game 4.
Yeah, I didn't realize he was 25. I thought he was younger than that. Yeah. But I still kind of hold because again, this is his rookie season in the big leagues, right? He's got something to prove. He wants to show everybody that he can get it done, not just in the regular season, that he can get it done in the postseason. To that point, I think he's already proven that. I mean, the fact that this he's coming in as a rookie, even if he's 25, coming in and winning the first 2 rounds, I think you've proved everything that you need to prove. They're going to go with you going forward, buddy. Okay, mm-hmm. So there's really no pressure. I don't think there should be any pressure on him in terms of his future with the organization or anything like that. I think at this point, he's just got a really good opportunity in front of him. And I don't think he wants to let anybody down. And I think, again, if you pot that early goal on him, or 2, whatever it is, I think you start getting into his head. And I'd love to see that because I think if they don't get that early goal on him, if the Sharks go down by a goal right off the hop there, he's going to have some confidence. He knows he's got one to play with. So I'd like to see him get get 1 or 2 on them and lose the confidence.
Take a quick second and we'll plug. We have some merchandise if you'd like to help support the show. You can go to thefinfactor.com and check out Support the Show tab, and there's a coupon for 10% off of your entire order, and it's playoff mode.
Very good. No space on that. By the way, I just looked back and I noticed that we have 1,749 subscribers.
So close. So close.
We're doing every 250, right?
Right. Yeah.
Anyway, so please go ahead and hit that subscribe button so that you know when we are going live and when we have episodes that are coming out. Even if you are a Blues fan, hey, welcome. We love having you here, and if you're enjoying the interaction, I know I am, and it's great being able to talk with folks from other teams and whatnot. Still, it's not. I mean, we are a Shark show, but we do enjoy talking with you guys, and it's great hearing what you guys have to say, because a lot of times we don't know enough about the other teams, and maybe Aaron does, but I don't know enough about some of the other teams. So it's great hearing.
And if you knew it, you forgot it. So
what's that?
And if you knew it, you forgot it.
If I knew it, I would have forgotten it anyway.
For instance, I know Nathaniel Arias is now a local here. It seems on our show, and he picked him up in the Avs series. So
that's right.
We did at one point have about 250 people watching, which I think was our new high. We're down around 237 right now, so I want to thank everyone for joining in. But go ahead and give us a like. Also subscribe, like Paul said, so you know when we're going live. We go live after every game in the playoffs, and then you guys do a series recap. So we'll be around at all times.
That's right. And during the regular season, it's a 1 week review. It's not after every single game or anything. We like doing that because it's a macro view. Again, not too high on the highs, not too low on the lows. That's kind of how we do it on the show, and it's been working out pretty well so far. So, do we have any other comments to address at this point in time?
Well, actually, I'm going to bring up Nathaniel who was asking Jason how he feels about Kane, but I'm going to ask you guys, how do you guys feel about Kane, Evander Kane?
I still think he's hurt.
Something's up, man.
Something's not right with him.
I noticed he's doing a lot of perimeter shots now, where he's skating on the outside and then shooting from the outside, like along the boards, and then skates behind the net instead of driving to the net like we see LeBanc do.
Yeah.
So something's going on. He's just not playing as hard as he normally is.
Yeah, I think he's got something going on with him, some sort of injury, and he just doesn't want to aggravate it. Like you said, he's not cutting towards the net. I think we've noticed that.
I think it's his shoulder, just because he's always had shoulder issues, and his skating seems to be okay. So it's not his legs. So upper body, which is so helpful, but because he's had shoulder injuries, and I think because he's not shooting the puck as well, he's not hitting people as he normally does, I think it's a shoulder thing.
I'm noticing that he is getting taken down quite a bit too. Like he gets hit on the boards and thrown down to the ice quite a bit. I'm noticing that a lot. So whatever it is, it's hampering him. It's I see a lot of people saying, "Hey, I want Kane to step up," and I'd love to see him step up too, but I just don't think I don't think his body is allowing him to step up right now. I'll put it that way.
We are speculating here. We don't have any insider information, so just to let you know that this is all speculation.
Yeah, no, we're fans just like you guys. The information that you get is kind of the same information that we get, really. So we have no inside track or anything. Yeah, but I mean, just knowing how Evander Kane plays and seeing him playing recently, it's fairly obvious to at least the Sharks fan base. I would hope that he's playing with something nagging him right now. So. I would love to see Donskoy back on that line with Hertl and Kane. I think the chemistry that they had might help him out a little bit. And if Donskoy is able to do more of the stick handling and get into the dirty areas, then maybe Kane can kind of sneak in and hopefully contribute that way. I wouldn't mind seeing that at all. I think Donskoy's been great on that fourth line. Don't get me wrong, but I think he's just too talented to play the limited number of minutes that he's going to get on that line there. So I'd love to see Melker maybe come back down to the fourth and put Pavs. Pavs with Jumbo and LeBanc. I think that would be a great line. We've seen that line before in the past, and it worked out well. And, of course, the line with Hertl and Kane and
Nyquist?
Donskoy.
Line.
That line's, we've seen them work well in the past. And, of course, the Couture line, that line's been doing extremely well. Not so much tonight, which brings me back to our talk about depth for this team. I mean, this team, again, when nobody was doing it, Logan Couture was doing it and getting it done in Game 2, right? Even though we lost that game. Tonight there was nobody really going, but we got
Jumbo.
We got some contributions from Jumbo
and Carlson.
The Couture line didn't do too well tonight, right?
He did get a goal, and he tied the goal. He tied the game. Couture,
yeah. I'm saying all game long though, up until that last minute.
Yeah.
All game long, that line wasn't doing anything. They had some stat. Parayko was like a +3, and he was in on however many goals, 3 goals or something like that. And then
with assists, right?
Yeah. And with Couture, he was like 1 shot on goal or no shots on goal and a -2 at the point in time, right?
That's what you get when you get to home ice advantage, right? Where you get to get your matchups in. Yeah. That's probably why right there.
Yeah. But my point being, the Couture line was dominant, and then all of a sudden it wasn't. So we needed some other line to step up, and that's the beauty of the Sharks' depth is that we got contributions from Jumbo. of all people. And then we got Erik Karlsson putting a couple of goals, right? When Bernsey didn't put the puck in the net, we had somebody else from the blue line stepping up and doing that. So, again, for the Sharks, I just love the depth that this team has. And I know that the Blues have a similar depth, right? I don't think they have the offensive threat on the blue line like we do. Although, the other game they did have some contributions from Bortuzzo, for instance. But they're similar teams, maybe not similar play styles, but the depth that can hurt you on both of these teams is showing. And we did see the third line and even the fourth line for the St. Louis Blues play pretty well tonight.
David Wake, thank you very much for the $2.79 Canadian in the Super Chat.
Nice.
Are you guys still confident in Jones going forward?
Yes. I think Jones played okay tonight, and he got this is a typical Jones game. He did enough to get the win. And you saw, he let in a couple goals where you're like, really? Like, someone else could have stopped that, right? Maybe even Aaron Dell could have stopped that. But then you look at some of the saves he had that were amazing. He robbed, I think it was Perron a couple times, right? Robbed a couple guys after they were down 4-3. He was making big saves that came back to help the Sharks because they ended up tying the game and winning in overtime. So he keeps the team in there. And if you look at like I said earlier, he has less goals against than
Bennington,
the St. Louis Blues goalie. So I think Jones is great. I think he's fine. I think again, it comes down to the Sharks. So we have this tweet actually, right? From, I think Kevin Kurz talked about, I think it was after the second period, saying, are we going to see Dell come in?
Yeah. Kurz put up a tweet saying, hey, is it time to put Dell in? And then Devin Setaguchi, who was on the broadcast tonight, he was sitting there on his phone during the broadcast, and people were laughing at him because he's, on his phone looking down while they're doing the Twitter mission or whatever it is, and people are like, dude, pay attention, right? But I think this is what he was typing on his phone. And it's basically Devin saying, responding to Kevin Kurz saying that they should be putting Dell in to start the third. And he says, Tarasenko, bad goal. You mean to tell me a top corner bar down snipe, a 2-1 backdoor, and a slap shot deflected off your own player instigates a goalie change? Come on. As a player, those aren't the goalie's fault. And to me, I responded with that with just one word, this. Just this. It's great to see somebody who has played the game say, you know what, this isn't the goalie's fault. I'm sorry, but the players around him need to do a better job, right? And there's other things like, just really good goal scorers that you go up against, and sometimes they beat you because they're really good goal scorers. So you see that, bar down snipe, like you said.
It was Tarasenko who is the #1 sniper on this team.
I think Jamie Baker said he's the best player left in the playoffs, or somebody. No,
snipe-wise,
yeah,
sure.
Exactly. He's the best offensive weapon left in the playoffs.
Right.
It might have been the NBC broadcasting group, somebody in there, I don't know. But, this is a guy who can shoot the puck. It's not like this is just some random,
It was also, he's been snake-bitten a bit.
Mm-hmm.
It was only his second even-strength goal in all the playoffs. So here's a guy that needs to get going for St. Louis, and he did get a goal tonight. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough for the Blues to win. But it was a great, snipe.
Fortunately, it wasn't enough.
Well, unfortunately for the Blues fans, it wasn't enough.
See, we still care about you guys.
Aaron's a closet Blues fan, or?
Well, I'm a Tarasenko fan because he's
Oh,
on my
he's on
fantasy
your-
team.
But hey, real quick, John Bianchi, $1.90 down the super chat. Thank you very much. Is
Thank
it
you.
just me, or do the Sharks need to lay some hits?
Yeah.
Yes
I
and
think
no.
the problem is the guy that's going to lay the hits, who's got the most minutes out there to lay hits, is Kane.
Yeah,
Right? So
he's hurt.
Yeah.
I mean, Kane
that's-
usually gets 4 to 5 hits per night. You take that away. I mean,
Yeah.
look at the hits. Right now, the Sharks had 21 hits to the Blues 43 tonight.
yeah,
You add another 6 hits to that, it's a little bit more even.
sure.
Then you're down by 10. You
Sure.
know? I mean, we did have Haley in there, but he's only playing so many minutes.
Yeah.
But you have Kane, Dillon. Those are kind of the two guys that are the most minutes. But at the same time, what about possession?
Mm-hmm.
You don't hit people when you have the puck. So if the Sharks are controlling the puck more, which I'm not saying they were tonight, they just don't hit as much as other teams do. But they haven't been finishing their checks like they should be.
I've been asking for that.
Since, beginning of Colorado series, right?
Yeah.
I think a lot of the Sharks got banged up after the Vegas series.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of slowly recovered through the Colorado series, but that was still a 7-game grueling series.
Right.
And now they're playing a heavy-hitting St. Louis Blues team, and the Blues know this, which is why they're hitting them and going after them.
Yep.
And a lot of these hits are kind of dirty, borderline dirty hits by the Blues. They're kind of headhunting a little bit. Carlson and Braun and Couture, those 3 guys they were kind of going after. So you know which players the Blues see as key players for the Sharks because they keep headhunting them.
Aaron Spears, thank you very much in the $1.99 in the super chat. Jumbo makes me happy. Makes me happy. Great game tonight.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, no, don't get me wrong. The way that the game ended shouldn't take away from the effort, right? I think there was a great effort by the Sharks tonight. I thought there was a great effort by the St. Louis Blues as well. You know, for them to say, you know, we're going to keep battling back, and then we're going to end up taking the lead, right? And then you got the Sharks doing the same thing. Well, we're down a goal now. Let's keep battling. And, you know, with the goalie pulled, and gosh, that one hit the post.
Yeah.
That one was close, real close. When it was trickling down the net, towards the net,
I thought it was going in for sure.
It's over, yeah. But yeah, no, just a great effort by both teams tonight. I mean, this is one that, you know, again, by all means, it should still be playing.
I mean, credit to the Sharks for bouncing back.
Yeah.
They were down a goal, and they pulled their goalie. And how many times have we seen this where it does not go their way, or they pass, lose the puck by the blue line, the other team takes it down and scores, you know? So good on the Sharks to get it to the net, and Couture putting away the rebound, essentially. I think it was kind of a rebound. Kind of a deflection.
It was thrown at the net, and he just kind of like vacuumed into the net there.
Yeah.
He just kind of kept poking at it, and puck went in.
So my kids it was like bedtime when I'm watching.
Oh,
so my wife is putting my daughter down, who's 10 months old now, and I'm sitting there with Calvin, who's almost 3, and we're sitting on the couch, and I'm like trying not to yell and but also excited. And then I was putting him down and in between overtime, or between the third period and overtime.
Yeah.
And so then Jenna comes in, and she was like, I was like, they tied it. They're in overtime. She goes, oh, I could tell. I could hear you trying not to yell. I was like,
really?
Yeah. She's like, yeah. I was.
What does that sound like?
Yeah. And I'm like clapping with Calvin, and we're jumping
They
around.
either tied it or Aaron's trying to lift something heavy.
Right. Yeah.
No, I actually heard. So I was putting my daughter to sleep, and I hear through the window from like a house away. And,
was that the tying goal? Or
that was the tying goal.
Okay.
So then I start watching it, and I'm watching it, and I'm like 30 seconds delayed, and my wife comes up and goes, "Did they just tie it, or did they just win? Did something just happen?" And I'm like, I don't know. And I look over, and it's like, maybe, go. And so I actually ran out into the rain, and I run over to a neighbor's house, and I knock on the door, and I go, "You guys are like my early warning, my early warning sign." Like, I was like, "Thank you very much." And they were like, "Oh, but it's a hand pass." And I go, was Meyer involved? And they're like, "Yeah." And I said, "They'll take it away then."
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, but
No,
one of the guys who was there said it's not reviewable. You know, so.
Yeah.
Illuminato, by the way, says, Aaron, those are dad noises. You know.
Yeah, totally.
Yep.
That
Real
hour.
quick, not yet. So Couture now, definitely after the last couple games is well in place for the goals since 2010, right? And someone mentioned right here. Hang on, I lost it, and I'll find it again.
Guy's an animal.
Clutch.
Just an absolute animal.
Sean Savage. If Ovechkin had as many goals / points as Couture does now, they would be talking Conn Smythe, but instead NBC talks about Rask.
No.
Now Rask is also doing good though, right?
He is, but I think Couture's still in the running, and kind of a part of it is how many games the Sharks have played versus the Bruins, because the Bruins are almost sweeping right now. So they're not going to play as many games, so their guys aren't going to get as many points. I think Couture's probably leading right now, right?
Yeah.
Leading the league in points.
14 goals or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's something ridiculous.
So they're talking Conn Smythe, I think, right at the end of the Colorado series for Couture.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're down to 4 teams right now. So I could see it. I mean, again, we have to get to the next round, or we have to get to the finals.
Yeah.
So nobody wins the Conn Smythe without getting to the Stanley Cup Finals.
There you go.
But we have seen losing teams win the Conn Smythe. Somebody on a losing team.
Yeah.
The last one I can remember is John Sebastian Giguère for Anaheim when they lost to I want to say it was New Jersey. I can't remember, but
you can't remember?
Nah, I can't remember. That was around the early 2000s.
This is what I mean when I say he's got a bunch of useless knowledge, and
Hey, that's useful. I've got the useless knowledge.
Like I said, this channel, this show lets me use this useless information.
Yeah, it does.
So it's fantastic. But yeah, Giguère is the last one that I can remember off the top of my head who won the Conn Smythe without winning a cup. Or being on the losing team is what
So it happens.
It's very rare, but
it's
it
rare.
happens. Yeah.
But the point is it happens, right? Interesting that they gave it to the losing goaltender.
Because he carried that team that year all the way to the finals. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, someone will probably fact check me in here in the comments.
Probably. Let's see. Max Musterman. Blues overall were the better team in my opinion. They were always forechecking with a minimum of 2 guys against our defense in our zone and pretty much won all the board battles and faceoffs. I think faceoffs were 48-52 tonight, but overall, what are you guys' thoughts?
I think it was a very evenly matched game. I mean, look at the goals. Look at the shots on goal were the exact same, 32 and 32. Face-off percentage, 52 and 48. That's like
so close.
3 face-offs going the other way.
Yeah.
So, and the power plays, 0 for 1 and 1 for 1. Mm-hmm. That's I could guess is the difference maker.
But Aaron, it was 0% to 100%.
The hits are the difference.
Yeah.
That's like a big difference. Block shots are even close, 20 for the Sharks and 24 for St. Louis. Mm-hmm. Giveaways, 7 for the Sharks, 9 for St. Louis. I mean, it was just a very even game. I mean, and they said on the radio on the way over here, like, you're not going to see a team dominate another team anymore at this point in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. Every team is going to be very evenly matched, where you're not going to dominate a team like
an
an
East Coast series. Dominate the Hurricanes.
Well, no.
There's an East Coast series going on right now.
I mean, like, possession-wise, like, where the other team doesn't even get any chances.
Okay, sure.
I've been watching the Bruins and the Hurricanes.
3-0.
Yeah, but I haven't watched the games.
Yeah. No, I think the first 2 games they got destroyed. Whatever. Anyway, yeah, so it's I don't know.
All right, well then, if you don't know, let's just go to this. Then Manny
move
Marquez, $1.99 in the super chat. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Cool.
Would like you guys to recap your thoughts on. Well, I'm going to put it in air quotes. He didn't put it in air quotes. The play, please.
Too long, didn't read.
All right. What our thoughts are. I think.
Do you want a recap of what happened?
Recap.
Because if I'm recapping what happened, I'll just say the same thing that I said earlier.
No, he says recap your thoughts on the play. So I think
it's unfortunate.
It's unfortunate for the Blues. I think the Sharks have been on the other end of that, so we know how much it sucks when you're on that side of it, and all you could do is blame the refs. But to me, the refs missed a lot all night. I mean, they missed the delay of game penalty. But I think it wasn't a blatant kind of cheat where he threw the puck across to Nyquist, who hit it to Karlsson. It was he was trying to bat it down and swing it kind of in one motion to get it over, and just either he just missed it or he might have tipped it. Who knows? It's really hard to tell on the replay on the angle of the camera. But either way, it wasn't like he was trying to cheat and trying to get away with something. So the intent wasn't really there. But at the same time, it really sucks for Blues fans.
I think the intent is there to try to make a play on the puck, and he's on the ice with one hand on his stick, sliding more or less on his knee, I think, and the puck's up in the air. He's going to do anything and everything he can to try to regain control of that puck. If that means batting it down and then trying to make a play with it, or batting it down to where he knows some Blues players are, but also some Sharks players are, so that maybe one of them touches the puck first, there's nothing wrong with that play. That's totally fine. So to kind of label him as trying to cheat, that I don't think is the right word. He's trying to make a play on the puck, and it's just an unfortunate event that the refs did not catch the fact that he played it with his glove and a Sharks player was the next person to touch it. He can play it with his glove. That's not illegal. It's totally fine. It's just that a Sharks player can't be the next person to touch it. So again, I think it's unfortunate for Blues. And honestly, even for Sharks fans, I've said a lot of Sharks fans saying, I just doesn't feel right. I don't like winning this way. You know, I'd rather just beat them. I know you don't care, and that's fine.
I like winning.
I like winning too. Winning is good, and at the end of the day, yes, we're up 2-1 in the series, and if that helps us advance, that's all I care about. You want to put an asterisk next to it? Go ahead. Because you know what? There are a lot of times where the calls are missed one way or the other. It just so happens that in this case, this call cost them the game. Literally cost them the game. Not put them on a power play or, give them an opportunity to score 4 goals in 4 minutes. None of that stuff. This was the call that directly affected the ending of the game because the goal counted when it should not have. That's my whole problem with the play, if you will. And I know if I was in Blues fans' shoes right now, I'd be pretty upset about it. So I empathize, right? I mean, having said that, again, this is not something that you look at the Sharks and go, oh, see, they're cheaters, or the refs want them to win,
right. Or the league wants them to win, or something, right?
It's the refs not making the call, not seeing the call.
Think about it
That's
this way: the refs called 2 penalties all game, one for the Sharks and one for the Blues. 2 power plays.
That's true.
If you watch this series and you go, wow, there's only 2 penalties called in this entire game. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
There's so many missed calls and so many just stuff where they just swallow their whistles. So it doesn't surprise me that they missed this call. How about that?
Sure.
David Wake, 279 in the super chat again.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. This is the 279 Canadian, I believe.
Who
is over/underperforming on the Sharks in the playoffs? And I think I'll start because we've been saying it all night, and it's an easy answer with EK9. Underperforming, unfortunately.
Yes. I would say Carlson up until today in this series.
I wouldn't even say Carlson. You
In
know
this
why?
Series. Not the playoffs, but the series. And last series.
Okay.
He showed up in the first series.
Yes, first because he got like now was it 9
assists.
9 of his 13 points were in the first series.
Everything is what have you done for me lately.
He only
right?
had 3 assists in 7 games against Colorado.
Yeah.
And he was healthier and skating better than he was in the Vegas series.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, going even to the first 2 games of this series, he was been mediocre. He hasn't been the Carlson that we expected or he was built to be, right? Even though he's healthier, maybe not completely healthy. So for me, I would say up until tonight was Carlson. But Evander Kane is the easiest answer to me.
Yeah, and I think even last show, I think I was saying, I'd like to see something of the spectacular variety out of EK65. Finally, I want to see something that's spectacular. I know he's a great defenseman who can bring the puck across the line, bring the puck through the neutral zone, very confident with the puck in his own zone, all of the above, right? I know he's got all those tools, but I know that he's got another gear, another level offensively that we just have not seen yet, and I'm sure a lot of that has to do with injury. But at some point, I would have loved to seen something bigger out of Erik Karlsson, and he got 2 goals, and again, maybe not so much big flashy goals there, but hey, they don't ask how, right?
Right.
Just ask how many. He got 2. So, really good showing from Erik Karlsson tonight. Now, who's underperforming? Yeah, I would agree. Kane's underperforming. I put an asterisk on that one, if you will, because I do feel that he's injured and he's not able to perform to his full potential.
I love at the end of playoffs or when they're all done, like to hear what the whole injury list was like.
Yeah.
Wow, these guys were playing with a broken foot or something.
Yeah.
Or Thornton was playing with a torn ACL. How ridiculous it is. It's always not that they get excuses or you like to give them excuses, but it's just amazing to see what guys will play through.
So the second part of that question was, who do you think is overperforming? So is there a certain player in particular that you feel is overperforming? And the folks in the chat too, same thing. Doing better than maybe they ought to, or they'll come back down to earth, or maybe they're just on another level right now, like Logan is, right?
Maybe Logan.
Maybe Logan comes back down to earth, or
a little bit, like a market correction, just a little bit.
Yeah.
And instead of scoring 9 goals in a series, he gets 6 goals in a series.
Okay.
Like he's still gonna get his, but just not as much.
Okay.
Maybe. Yeah, I could see that. I'd also like to see Pavelski step up a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, he's had some chances. Oh, sorry, blocking my mic.
You know who's underperforming?
Me?
Yeah. Emma S., thank you very much. 99 cents in the super chat. Go ahead and throw us a comment or a question if you got one for us. That'd be great. I think as far as overperforming, like, I got to say Couture as well.
Yeah.
I'd like to think. I thought somebody brought this up earlier, like, how what do you guys think about Timo Meier tonight? I was hoping after game 1 he was going to have that breakout game. He did really well. Got a couple goals, and I just liked his play, and I thought he was going to do, continue that out, and then he kind of disappeared again.
And actually, that's something I wouldn't mind hearing about from the Blues fans in the chat right now. If you guys can let us know how you felt about, say, Timo Meier, the last goal aside, was he kind of a pest for you guys? Did he stand out to you guys in any way? I mean, there are players like
going to say Timo who?
Whatever. No, was there a certain player that maybe you thought, man, this guy's all over the place tonight? That for us, we see it, but we're kind of used to seeing our players, so maybe they don't stand out as much to us anymore, right? For you guys, maybe if you can remember the guy's name or who that player is on the Sharks team, if there's a guy that stood out to you that maybe was being a bit more of a pest, or was more noticeable, or was hard for your team to deal with in any way, shape, or form, go ahead and throw a comment there so we can kind of see what you guys think about that as well. That'd be great.
Yep.
Cool.
Aaron Spears, $1.99 on the super chat. Thank you very much. Was Pavelski's stick locked down from tipping tonight?
I think they're doing a good job containing him. However, I think it was the tying goal. He was in front of the net, kind of disrupting and maybe even getting a deflection, getting it down, which got over to Couture, if I remember correctly. He was in the mix there. So he is, bar none, I think, better than anyone in the league with tipping in front of the net.
Oh, yeah.
So I think the Blues know this, and it's also kind of the Sharks' MO for their power play, at least. That's their strategy. They only had one power play tonight anyway. Yeah. But I think, the Blues are going to try and tie up his stick and make sure he doesn't get it on the puck at all.
Yeah, when the Sharks are on the power play, I see a couple strategies. One is get the puck to Burns, who risks it in from the point, not looking for a goal, but looking for either Pavelski's chin or Pavelski's stick. That's generally what he's trying to do there. Otherwise, you see it oftentimes go on the other side, not the LeBank's right-hand side, but like, say, Thornton on the left, right? Where you see, the pass going down low, and then one-timed into the little slot area. So it's like it goes from the boards, and it gets fired down low, and immediately gets one-timed into the low slot, which then again gets one-timed towards the net, hopefully in the net. That's another little set play that they do a lot. So there's a couple things that you see on the power play. Tonight didn't seem to work out right. So stuff to work on. But if you're only going to get one power play, and something you've brought up before, you're going to see less and less power play time, and 5-on-5 is going to become much more important as the series go on.
Real quick, I do want to bring up, going all the way back to Game 1 and the very first goal that Pavelski scored.
Okay.
He knew it would have been a high stick if he brought his stick up. That's why he did it off his face. Anyways, Stevenson Yee, Pickles is actually overperforming, I think. Oh. He has 2 goals in the playoffs.
What? Nice.
I almost said Pickle, but we've seen this offensive production out of him every now and then, kind of in spurts. He's not consistent with it.
But as far as D goes, I mean...
the Sharks will not win without him.
Yeah.
They haven't won a game without him in the lineup.
Yeah, they've lost games with him in there, obviously, but every game he's been out has been almost a game. I mean, bad losses.
Yeah.
So.
No, he's the backbone of the defensive part of our defense. Yeah. Without him, we saw Justin Braun play a pretty good game tonight, too. He made a lot of really good plays, but, without Marc-Eduard Vlasic, I don't know where we'd be.
Yeah.
So. John Doe mentions that Jumbo is looking more and more like Bork every game, when they won the Cup, that is.
Oh, Ray Bork?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
Old,
I was thinking
old but playing well.
Yeah, I was like, who? But he didn't have to switch teams to get a cup.
Ooh.
Yeah, he had to come from the Bruins, right?
No.
Oh,
Ray
Bork? Oh, okay, yeah.
Ray Bork went to the Colorado Avalanche to win.
Well, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, Thornton came from the Bruins.
Yeah, a long time ago. He's played more Sharks games than Bruins games.
I know.
Both players would have had to leave Boston to get a cup. So.
Yeah, but Boston has won a cup without them.
That's fine. I'm just saying.
What are you guys' thoughts on Hurdle? So he played. Obviously, he was stellar in the first round and very good in the second round. So far, what do you think?
I'd say he's another candidate for underperforming. Yeah. But I think his play is still very strong, and he's kind of there, but he's just not capitalizing on his chances. We saw him do it in most of round 1. Vegas could not contain him basically. Yeah. I think Colorado did a good job either slowing him down or just containing him. So far, St. Louis has been containing him, but I would expect him to at some point kind of explode and get on the score sheet for a couple goals in a game.
And isn't it funny how I kind of agree with you on that one with him like underperforming, right? And he's second on the team behind Logan,
right?
In terms of goal scoring,
yeah.
Right.
I mean, I'm not complaining,
but again,
because his play is there. It's more of just the executing and getting on the score sheet.
Finish.
Yes,
right?
Exactly.
It's again, what have you done for me lately? You score all these goals in the first series.
But this goes to the Sharks' depth, what we were talking about earlier, right? You contain the Logan Couture line, or you contain the Thornton line. You're plugging holes, and another one pops up, and you're moving this one and going over here. So it's just maybe this is how they want it and try and contain the Sharks because they can't contain them all.
Maybe that's why Donskoy is on the fourth line.
To spread it out a little more.
It sounded like so I know that the Blues get last change, but during the playoffs it was just it was going on. It wasn't like a face-off or anything like that. It was almost like the Blues were throwing their fourth line out against our third, or vice versa. We were doing our fourth against their third. That is.
Hey, Blues have really good depth too. Yeah. I mean, they really do. They're in the same boat.
It's a very evenly matched matchup, I think, and this is we talked about this. This is the team that kind of scared me going into the Western Conference Finals. Like, I think we talked about it in the first round, which team is kind of scary and what's left, right?
Yeah.
Or after the first round?
I think it was after the first round. We were talking about the teams that are left and saying, okay, because Tampa Bay was out. That's probably why we brought this stuff up, right? Because Calgary was out. Tampa Bay was out. Like, all the top teams were out, right? And so we're saying, well, who bothers us? Not scares necessarily, but who bothers us that's left? And I'm going, okay, well, St. Louis and Boston. Looks like Boston's going to advance, and we're currently playing St. Louis. So I think I even brought this up. Can you imagine if Calgary got past Colorado, we'd have to play Vegas, who's heavy and highly skilled.
Right.
And then Calgary instead of Colorado, who's got a couple guys that could throw the body real hard and are also highly skilled.
And then
St. Louis, who's a very physical team, very deep and highly skilled. And then you have to go play Boston, assuming, right? If that was the path to the Cup, that's got to be like the hardest path to the Cup.
I think, there's no easy way to the Cup regardless, even if it was Tampa or not.
Sure.
Right? I don't think that there's no way around it. So I think, not to look too far ahead of this series or anything, but the narrative of Joe Thornton having to go through Boston to win a Cup, I think is going to be a great selling point for the series.
Oh, of course, yeah.
But, again, not jumping that far ahead.
Junior C, what do you guys think of potentially scratching Kane for Sorensen, then moving Donskoy to second line? I know it sounds crazy, but he doesn't help, and he gets in the way and takes penalties.
No, you don't take Kane out of the lineup. There's no way, unless he's broken completely and he can't move. But
well, it seems like he is at points, but he did.
Broken Kane is still better than Sorensen on that line.
Game 1, I believe, he came back and I think we were all saying this, like, or it was a Game 7 against the Avs when it was like he started to look like Kane. Then he was skating fast, he was getting some hits, he wasn't getting the puck luck he needed, but overall he was playing well. And again, like tonight, it was like I'm listening on the radio, so I didn't get to see the play, but they were like, oh, Kane, he tried to get it deep and couldn't. Oh, he was trying to do that and gets taken away. And it was just like, God, he's just out there. He's a liability.
They won't scratch him. The only way he wouldn't play is if he's hurt and he can't physically play.
Right. What about moving him? What about changing his lines up though? Moving him down.
No.
I think you go with what you know, and at this point, now, you can't. Whoa, that's a cool transition. I think you kind of go with what you know. And I would like to see Donskoy back on that line instead, because I don't think Pavelski is going to bring the puck in, charge the puck in. I think Donskoy is a little more suited to that, and if that frees Kane up a little bit more, drawing people away from Kane, I think he can kind of just set up and hopefully just bomb a shot. Maybe get closer to the dirty area without having to carry the puck into it and get drilled.
Yeah.
Right. And I think Donskoy might be able to bring that to that line. So I wouldn't mind seeing that. But in terms of scratching Donskoy, no, this is something that I kind of was thinking over too. I'm like, I mean, if he's not 100%, maybe it does make sense to scratch him. Then I'm thinking about who you throw in, Sorensen or Radil, right? And it just doesn't make sense to me really. So I could see maybe if they win Game 4, 3-1, okay, give them a break, throw someone else in there. If we lose the game, we can throw them back in. Not the end of the world, right? Then the pressure's really on the Blues to win 3 straight.
Yeah.
So I think it would be okay for you to kind of mess with maybe dropping a game because you don't have him in there. But let's get real. Taking Kane out of the lineup isn't going to be an automatic loss, okay? We've talked all season long about the depth of San Jose Sharks and how if any one player gets hurt or isn't having a good night, that there's plenty of other players on the team that can pick up the slack where it's needed. So I think if you were to take Kane out of the lineup just to get him an extra couple days of rest, right, and plug anyone else back in there, again, I think we have enough depth on the team that we could handle that. I mean, again, we've got Donskoy playing on the 4th line. If you pull Kane off of that line, you could still put Donskoy back onto that line and then pull, any of the other guys, put Radil on the 4th, right? I mean, or Sorensen when he gets back in there, put him back on the 4th. So there's a lot of things that can happen. And you could get him out there and could get him some extra rest and can hopefully get him better. But I'm with you. I don't think they're going to do that. I think as long as he's out there playing and he's not making anything worse, they're going to just keep playing with the guy. So
it's interesting. Melker is on the line with Thornton now. Now Thornton, he loves having right-handed shots as wingers. So he has Carlson and God dang it, he has Carlson and he has LeBanc, 2 right-handed shots on his line. So he's going to be feeding those guys, and we saw tonight they got Thornton got 2 goals.
Yeah.
So that kind of goes away what I was saying, but
he
had an assist.
Thank you very much. Yeah, he was on the score sheet at least. Right. I mean, you think he was still a -1?
No, I'm talking about Jumbo had 2 goals and an assist tonight.
Oh no, I went back to Kane. Sorry.
Yeah.
Matthew, $2 in the super chat. Wow. Hi guys.
Super chat.
It is the super chat, and it is Matthew DeLeo. Thank you very much for the $2.
Thank you.
Shout out to Steven in Fairfield, a real fan. Thank you very much. Nathaniel Arias, $1.99 in the super chat. Why does Boston bother or concern you?
I just think they match up against the Sharks well and can shut them down. I think Chara in the back with his long reach, Marchand, who's just a pest, but is very offensively gifted. I think Tuukka Rask can get hot at the right time, which he has been. I just think I don't think it's going to be a short series. I still think the Sharks can hang in there. It's not like they're going to lose or be the underdog, really. It's going to be a very evenly matched series. But, I mean, I don't want to really talk about it because it's so far.
Well, he's just wondering. He's just asking
why
about
they're scared, right?
What bothers you about Boston? Doesn't mean, hey, we're going to play Boston, so what bothers you? Just in general, what bothers us about it? For me, it's, again, Chara. I'm not scared of his ability to play hockey so much as his just kind of bullying people around out there. And the last thing I'd like to see is one of our guys get injured again because this alien lurch-looking thing is just a gigantic human being.
Yeah, for those that don't know, Zdeno Chara is 6'9", and that's without skates. So with skates, he's closer to 7 feet.
Yeah.
He's enormous. He's also 42 years old.
Yeah. No, he's a freak of nature.
It's amazing because when you get that large, like you see basketball players like that, they can't really sustain a career because they can't run.
So the tallest guy on their team bothers me, and then conversely, the smallest guy on their team bothers me. The little ball of hate, right? Brad Marchand. It's again, his skill is something to behold. Don't get me wrong. The guy's amazing skill set.
His chirping is something to
and
behold.
His chirping is pretty good too.
Pretty spot on. It's pretty good.
But I just cannot stand how a player who can be that good has to resort to things like, rabbit punches to the back of the head for a guy that's not licking people's face.
I was gonna say.
Just stupid antics like that. Just I wish he would. And I understand he's an agitator. He's a pest.
It works.
I get it, and it does work. That's great. But it's things that are like, it's like Sean Avery-ish.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sean Avery, but way more skilled.
But extremely skilled.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I wish the league would do more to force him to stop doing the Sean Avery stuff and keep him doing the Brad Marchand skill stuff. Because he's definitely skilled enough that he doesn't need to do that stuff.
The punch to the head, that was last round, I believe.
No,
that wasn't against Carolina. It was against...
it doesn't matter.
Whatever. The league did warn him. If he does it again, he's going to get suspended. So, I mean, some of this stuff he gets called by the league and is warned.
Yeah.
If he does it again, he's going to get suspended. The licking thing he got suspended for.
Right.
Just little stupid stuff,
So he picks something else to do. And that's what I'm getting at is like I can't stand his antics. I think he's a phenomenal player. I just can't stand his antics. And I think he's
a player that you want on your team and you hate to play against.
No, I don't think I would want him. I would not want the licking and all that rabbit. I wouldn't want any of that stuff on my team.
But it definitely fits into the Boston fans.
Oh, definitely. I mean, yeah.
I have to. The high stick that I thought I saw, but it was like a small cross check, and then whoever it was on the Canes kind of grabbed his stick in like defense and pulled it up.
Williams.
I thought he pulled Williams down with like a hook around the neck, because you slow it down, you're like, oh no, he grabbed it. Okay.
Williams.
So I have to.
Shook. Williams is shook.
Yeah.
Brad Marchand is in Williams. Oh no, not even Marchand. It's the defenseman too. One of their defensemen. They're in Williams' head right now, big time. I don't think Carolina's getting out of this series with a win.
Well, they're down 3-0.
No, I don't think they're getting out of the series with a win. They are just inside that captain's head right now, and it's not going to bode well for them. Tomorrow we'll find out. So,
Matthew, thank you very much for $2 in super chat. Why don't Coach say we need to win 2 games in St. Louis?
Say it again. Why
don't Coach say we need to win 2? We need to win 2 games in St. Louis. I guess the coach will start saying that we need to win both games.
We don't.
I think we should. By the way, I think it was Jason was asking, you guys need to. Hang on, let me find it. They were saying he needs more energy out of you guys. We're only 2 games away from a Stanley Cup right now, but you know what? We're still 2 games away from a Stanley Cup right now.
Like our show, we are even keeled. We don't get too high on the highs or low on the lows. We also don't like to talk smack because it's only 2-1 in the series.
Right.
It can still go either way.
you start celebrating too early, and it can bite you, right?
I'll celebrate when we get that 4th win.
Yeah, for sure. And there's nothing wrong with celebrating to advancing to the next round because, it's a culmination of a series. You're very happy that the series has gone the way that it has. Now, we're happy that the game went the way that it did, although I personally would have liked it to go a little bit more legitimately. But, hey, I'll take what I can get.
Let's talk about Game 4. What do you want to see out of the Sharks in Game 4? What do you think is going to happen?
Yeah, all these guys that we keep talking about having to step up and do, right? I'd like to see contributions from guys that we haven't seen contributions from more recently. Again, what have you done for me lately, right? I think Tomas Hertl has a lot more to give. I hope that there's nothing wrong with him. I don't think there is. The way he's playing the game, he looks fine, but the point production maybe hasn't been where he'd like it to be and up to par with where it was earlier in the playoffs. So I'd like to see some of these guys that are more role players kind of step in as well, right? So I like to see that 4th line, get rewarded for a goal. Not that they're due and they should get a goal and they need to step up. Not that. I'd like to see them get rewarded. So I think the play that they've had so far has been really good. I'd like to see them get a little bit more accolades for the hard work that they put in. And they're not out there to score goals, but gosh, it would be great to see them get one and get rewarded for it. So things like that. I'd like to see the guys who aren't showing up every night on the score sheet, but are working really hard, get a goal here and there. That's what I'd like to see. I'd like to see it, nice and spread out like the Sharks' depth is. So we'll see. And it's nice when, you're leading goal scorer, Logan Couture doesn't put a goal in or something like that to see other guys jumping in and stepping up. That's what we saw out of Joe Thornton tonight.
I think we're going to see a huge surge of the Blues coming out because they're going to be angry after the way that the game ended in Game 3. So I think the Sharks are going to have to weather the storm in a way in the beginning of the game. Probably the whole first period, they're just going to be an onslaught coming after them hard.
Yeah.
The Blues are now down in the series, and they're going to want to come back and even it up. So I think if the Sharks can weather the storm, put the pressure on them, and get some goals, and obviously win the game would be fantastic. But I think they're going to be surging really hard, and they're going to have to really kind of weather the storm, like I said,
sure.
and try and get out of it alive.
Do you feel like they have to weather the storm though?
Yes.
All right. No, actually, so I agree. And that was something they mentioned on the radio today. Before the game, they were saying the Blues this is their first game at home in the Western Conference Finals. They're going to come out and they're going to want to basically get their crowd into it right away. So the Sharks being able to not only weather the storm, but also get those 2 goals was great. What I'd like to see in a Game 4 is if you get that lead, protect that lead.
Yeah.
I mean, getting up 2-0, awesome. Then it's 2-1. All right, that's fine. 3-1, perfect. 3-2, 3-3, 4-3. What's going on, guys?
Try not to
Paul? What do you say? Close the door, boys. Close the door. Shut the door.
Shut the door.
All right, but I do want to say a couple things here from Matthew for the $2, and it was I guess Coach DeBoer said we need to get a split when he was talking to the media. And it's well, they already got the split now at this point, at least.
You have to get a split, yes, because they split.
Exactly.
You're not going to win the series unless you take one.
Otherwise, it's going to be like the Vegas series where you're down 3-1, and that's rough.
Well, no. But I guess what I'm getting at is just by the numbers, you have to win a game in St. Louis. A game, because they won one, right? So you can go down 3-1. You're still going to have to win Game 6 in St. Louis if you're going to advance. You have to steal a game because they did, right?
They're putting in the extra work early so they don't have to do it later.
Yeah.
The hard work.
Yeah.
If they go to Game 7, I guess.
Sure.
Blues take Game 4, and all of a sudden it's a 3-game series, and we start all over again. So.
And somebody made the comment earlier, I need more energy out of you guys. This is why.
Yeah.
Because for me, we're not up in the series. We're even right now because I'm expecting the Blues are going to get a win at home on Game 4. That's my expectation.
I would love... Oh, go ahead.
My expectation is that they're going to get that win. They may not get that win, in which case they don't live up to my expectations, which is totally fine. I'll take the 3-1 lead. I'm not saying the Blues are going to win. Don't mistake me for saying that. I'm saying the expectation is that they're going to win.
I'm almost expecting the Sharks to lose tomorrow or on
Friday.
Friday, thank you. But I would be thrilled if they had a win and coming home to finish out the series in Game 5. And because I'm going to Game 5.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Manny Marquez, $1.99 in the Super Chat. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you.
I think this question is basically I'll read it. Better touch and effort. I think this question is right in front of me, so let me read it. Better touch and effort on the dump and chase. So did they have a better game plan today with like basically I think the basically like the blue zone, blue line entry. Wow. I'm gonna move back now.
I don't know. I mean, there were a couple times where I saw them dump the puck in, and it looked like they were trying to go after guys, but then they didn't really throw the body like I thought they were going to. It's like they threw the puck in so that they could try to stick handle them or out poke check them, and it just didn't. I don't know. I don't know if that really worked or not. The Blues, on the other hand, when they were chipping the puck in, they were destroying. Right?
They like to do that so they can hit.
Yeah.
The Blues like to dump and chase so they can hit the defensemen, because the Sharks defensemen are pretty much the main reason the Sharks are going so deep and so far, and why they're so good is their defensemen. So if you can dump and chase where you're dumping the puck in and you're chasing it down and you're smacking them into the boards as hard as you can, they're going to wear down. That's kind of their strategy.
Yeah. And so a couple things. One, on that front, right, that's exactly what I was saying the Sharks need to do in the Colorado series. They didn't do it, and then they ended up going to 7. If they had gotten on those 2 young defensemen, chipped the puck in, and slammed the body like they should have, that series could have been done a lot earlier, in my opinion, right? The game tonight, they're dumping the puck in, Blues, to try to slam our our defensemen, our offensive defensemen, right?
Yep.
And Erik Karlsson mainly. For a couple reasons. One, I think that they know he's not 100%, and they're trying to re-agitate something. Not necessarily trying to injure, but if you can wear that guy down, he's such a good talent on the blue line in terms of breaking the puck up and out. If you take him out of the game, or if you limit his ability to play, you are limiting now their ability to move the puck up and into your zone. And a lot of that comes that breakout starts from the defensive end. So if you're limiting their ability to get up and through the neutral zone and up and into your zone, you basically are controlling the puck at that point, and you can kind of have free reign. So it makes sense for them to try to slam the body on our guys, right, on the blue line. I would like to see us do that a little bit more, but I think their defensemen are kind of a little bit more built, if you will, and they can handle it. Yeah,
Parayko's a beast, man.
And the guys
right?
and the guys that we're going to send in to throw the body on them,
they're going to
Timo
bounce
Meier,
off like fly. Well, Timo would.
Timo will hit him. Kane's not really 100% right now. I don't think you're going to see him throwing it. And I can't really name many others.
Jumbo doesn't really hit. He's a big dude, but he
apart
doesn't
from
hit.
Haley, I can't really think of anybody else who was really going to go in there and throw. I mean, maybe Melker Karlsson does, but
still not big enough to knock those guys or anything.
From Aaron, from Aaron Spears, $1.99. Game 4 is going to need tight D and fast legs.
Yeah.
Question?
Yes.
Agreed. Totally. David Wake with high expectation, 279 Canadian in the super chat.
Thank you.
With high expectation comes great disappointment.
That's why we like to keep it even keeled.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But on the heels
That
of
sounded
that,
like a Spider-Man thing right there.
on the heels of that, Matthew again, Matthew DeLeo again, $5 in super chat this time. Why are you guys expecting Blues to get a win? Coach Cassidy of the Bruins is saying we are creating a storm at the Canes, not trying to weather the storm. So you go out there and you try to get a win. But I think you guys aren't saying like they're going to lose, but you guys you expect the Blues to be
they're going
to want the win
Yeah,
more.
Look, I'm not saying the Sharks are going to lose Game 4. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that. I'm saying I'm expecting that the Blues aren't going to just roll over and lose both of their home games, Games 3 and Games 4. I would expect that the home teams are going to win their games, right? Now the Sharks didn't in that case. They dropped one. The Blues didn't. They dropped one. I don't know. For me, the expectation is that the home team's going to win their games. So I can't imagine that the Blues come out soft and just hand over both games at home here. I feel like, again, it's not a prediction. What I'm saying is they should be expected to win that game. And if they don't, dude, they're down 3-1.
I also expect the refs are going to try and maybe not make makeup calls, but I will go on record saying I bet the Blues will have more power plays than the Sharks will in Game 4.
Okay.
I just think that they're going to call some ticky-tacky stuff against the Sharks because they're going to feel bad about Game 3. They would feel better if they even up the series rather than the Sharks coming out of it 3-1.
Okay.
And I'm not saying they like to manipulate it, but I bet they feel bad about Game 3.
Makeup calls.
They're also going to get a nice phone call from the league apologizing about it.
We never get apologies.
The difference will be Vegas will tell you about it. St. Louis won't.
Oh, okay.
Because St. Louis is classy.
Okay. Well, it's also not Game 7, so let's not say that they're classy just yet.
Wasn't
If it
either
was Game 7,
Yeah.
do you think they'd be...
Yeah, whatever.
Come on now. We'll see. Anyway.
All right. Well, that was, I think, the last of it. We got.
Cool.
So I want to thank everybody. We're still at 200, about 220, 218 right now.
What?
That is an hour and a half of viewing. Thank you very much for everybody
Wow.
who tuned in.
Yeah, I mean, again,
Thank
from
you.
us, because you can't see Joe, but from us, hey, again, thank you guys for tuning in. We love...
Am I even here?
Are you even here? Yeah.
Speak and spell over here.
No, we love the interactions with you guys. This is great. It's awesome having both Sharks fans and Blues fans, and sometimes Colorado fans and Avs fans even still from the month prior. It's just great being able to sit here and chat with you guys. I think this is what makes this show as fun as it is being able to sit down and talk with you guys, take your comments live. It keeps Aaron and I on our toes in terms of what we think about things that happen, and it actually helps us out sometimes with our recorded shows because we get good topics of conversation from you guys as well, and things to remember and bring up for the shows sometimes. So it's just been a lot of fun, and it's been great. So
Yeah, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Subscribe so you can get some notifications of when our future videos come out. We will be live after every playoff game, and then we usually do a series recap that's recorded and will come out a day or two after the series is over.
Sure.
And during the regular season, when we're not in playoffs, we do a weekly show where we recap the week of the Sharks. So
yeah, and for the guys that are Sharks fans, again, another good reason to subscribe would be because we've already given away some things on the set here. You see these playoff mode shirts and some of these baubles, not all of them, and actually the pucks that we don't have on display right now. But there's a lot of stuff that we have acquired, and we're going to happily do some giveaway stuff. We don't know the details of it quite just yet, but if you're subscribed, you'll know about that because you'll get the notification saying when we do stuff.
And thank you, everybody, for the Super Chat money.
Yes.
If you also would like to contribute and not use the Super Chat, you can purchase some merchandise, which means you get something in return. So we sell, there it is, we sell T-shirts. We have a black, a gray, and a teal shirt with the Fin Factor logo on it. And we also have a women's Deep V black shirt with the logo on it.
Sorry,
and
I went
we
like
have
this. It's not that deep. Sorry.
And we have a hat that is phenomenal hat. These are not cheapy items either. They're pretty good quality.
Here,
So
I'll
you'll
show
be
you
happy
mine.
with your purchase.
I'll show you mine.
There's the hat. It's got some really thick stitching on it, and in Sharks colors. It looks really sharp.
Stitching kind of pops off there. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're nice. Love 'em.
And we also have stickers you can put on your toaster. And if you don't know what that means, you're gonna have to go back a couple shifts. So yeah,
There you
and
go.
everything is 10% off with the code playoff mode.
Yeah, so everything in your order, 10% off. So, anything else we wanted to?
We
bring
missed
up?
the roll call, but
Yeah, that's okay.
we had. I just noted that we had enough content tonight. We had enough conversation going that we didn't have to interrupt and fill time.
Yeah, and if we come up with a loss and there's only 20 people that want to chat, then we'll do roll call. It's a lot easier that way. But the other thing you could do outside of the subscription to YouTube, which again we highly recommend, would be to follow us on socials at the Fin Factor for Twitter and Facebook, at Fin Factor on Instagram as well. We post some things up there. Usually on Twitter we're going berserk during the games, so have a look at that one. That's a good follow, I would say. Yep. Good. Okay. Hey, so guys, again, thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate all the comments that you guys have given us. So for super producer Jason, super key grip Joe, I'm Paul,
And I'm Aaron.
and we will see you
Friday night.
Friday night. Bye-bye.
Bye.